Hello, everybody. I'm Parrish Alford with John Davis, and this is Rapid Reaction from today's Hugh Freeze press conference. The Rebels coming off a 41-3 win over Vanderbilt. They looked good against a bad team. It's going to be a little bit better team coming in with an athletic quarterback Saturday at 3 o'clock, SEC Network TV, the Rebels' home opener against Louisiana Lafayette. Spinning this thing forward, JD, what did we learn today from the press conference?
Well, I think what we saw is what Coach Freeze and his staff saw, which was a very good overall complete performance. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways you could describe the win, but I think complete is definitely as right as any of them. Special teams, defense, offense, everything clicked. Bo Wallace was better. The offensive line got some continuity going, as well as some other guys in the mix. I mean, I think there's just no other way to look at it. And I think Vanderbilt is bad. I don't think there's any doubt that they're back to the old days.
I was willing to give Vanderbilt the benefit of the doubt after Temple. 7 turnovers, rainy, messy conditions. Going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but now they've proven that they're bad.
Yeah,
they're bad.
I'm starting to think they are what they are. And I think at the end of the day, though, well, even if they're bad, it doesn't matter what that other team is. You take advantage of it.
And they did that.
And they did.
They cleaned up areas that were sloppy against Boise.
Absolutely.
They did that. And let's talk about that offensive line a little bit. Maybe a little bit of help coming, some depth coming maybe with Christian Morris. He was approved last week for a waiver by the NCAA. Hugh Freeze used the term pedal to the metal more or less today to say he was going to work hard to get Christian Morris ready to back up at both tackle spots. Now this is a guy that in the recruiting rankings in the class of 13, he was pretty much on a par.
This is Laramie Tunsil Jr.
He was, I mean, the recruiting coverage was very kind to him.
No, and he's got the ability, I think, to be in that same kind of area. I mean, and not exactly like Laramie Tunsil, but Laramie Tunsil-esque. And I think, it was kind of a funny moment. I think Justin misunderstood a little bit of how I asked a question about, is he in shape enough to be a starter in the sense of,
I was kind of going about Justin Bell.
Yeah, Justin Bell to be a starter, opposite of Laramie Tunsil, because he even said, well, it's going to be pretty hard for him to take LT's job. And I was like, no. I'm just saying get in the mix and be enough shape to even maybe be Fawn Cooper's guy to potentially take over for him in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Let's talk about that a little bit. The reason that's possible is because it's been 2 weeks now, and it looks like Fawn Cooper is still having issues with false starts. When we talk about the red zone execution, there were several problems in the red zone in the first half against Vanderbilt, or that game would have been put out of reach much earlier. But you go back and look, there were 3 penalties by Fawn Cooper in red zone opportunities, 2 false starts and a holding. So, I mean, look, he's a first-year junior college guy. He's still learning the ropes, but there's some cleaning up that they need to do there at that position.
I think at the end of the day, what you're talking about is somebody that's going to be able to push Cooper now. Add the depth, add the situation that you lost with Golson. Now you're kind of back to that position to where now it just comes down to is Cooper the best guy or is it Morris in time? And based on the way Justin Bell talked about Morris, he's in good enough shape with 3 or 4 weeks. The off week is coming up next week. It sounds like with the pedal to the metal, he could play maybe by Alabama or early October.
And remember, he's also coming off the Achilles injury. Still no word on Damari Stringfellow, the wide receiver transfer from Washington, who also was seeking a waiver. There was some news among the wide receivers on Sammy Epps, and it looks like he's headed for a redshirt. We talked about that after his arrest. There was a time that he was running second team.
Yes.
The arrest changed things.
Absolutely.
But also, in addition to the arrest, the consistency from the other receivers that they were not getting in camp. And we talked to Quincy Adebojo about his fast start today. We've seen what Cody Core has done. And, Hugh Freeze talked to us about how the attention that Laquan Treadwell is attracting from opposing defenses has opened up opportunities for other guys. And these receivers have taken advantage of it maybe better than they were doing in camp. And that's going to make it easier, I think, to redshirt Sammy Epps.
Well, I think at the end of the day, you still have Collins Moore to deal with, factoring in there. And if he's a fifth-year senior and he can play this year, you play him.
Right.
You don't have to burn a red shirt.
Yeah, he's not going to be ready this week.
Cody Court, exactly. But, I mean, regardless, he's going to be ready sometime.
Right.
Why take a shirt off Sammy Epps for
Exactly.
5 snaps?
Right.
Cody Core's playing well, like you said. Some of the other guys are stepped up. I feel a lot more confidence in Quincy after what he's shown the first 2 weeks. I mean, you got another chance for him to have some big numbers against Lafayette. So, why not? You got the off week coming up. Get Collins more ready for then, and don't take a shirt off Sammy Epps.
Right. So, anyway, I know a lot of people, and I go back to media days here, when Freeze talked about depth at receiver, he mentioned these freshmen. And it's not playing out that way right now. They're going to redshirt Dale Harris. Okay, looks like they're going to redshirt Epps. We've not seen a huge role for Markel Pack. He's figuring in on punt return. But, they're just – I've been really impressed with the play they've gotten collectively at wide receiver.
And can you imagine, considering how good that guys like Core, if Quincy continues to come, Stringfellow's got ability. You add all those guys up next year, this wide receiving core could be really, really good at times.
It really could, and that's especially true if Bo Wallace continues to make the good decisions as he did against Vanderbilt, played within himself, really a solid game. Freeze had good things to say about Bo's performance against Vanderbilt. Look, this offense, this team needs that from Bo Wallace moving forward. He has a reputation. He has earned a reputation as a guy that turns the ball over. He needs to put several turnover-free games together. He's working on a streak right now of 51 pass attempts without an interception. We counted that up during the game. Going back to the first half against Boise now, 51 pass attempts without an interception.
If you can double and triple that, right, that's when you go, hey, interception.
He's different.
Yeah, he's different. An interception every 150, 200 snaps, I think, is more than, that's definitely a good job on his part.
Well, we know Louisiana Lafayette will be a better team than Vanderbilt because, frankly, just about every team will be. But they're going to come in here with a talented offense, a weapon. They're going to have the fastest dual threat quarterback the Rebels have seen this year in Terrence Broadway. The Boise quarterback.
A lot of people from Mississippi, too.
Yeah, a lot of Mississippi flavor on that roster. Boise's quarterback, Grant Hedrick, was dual threat, but not the athlete that
not
Terrence
the size
Broadway
either that Broadway's going to bring to the table, too. Broadway's got that rare ability to be a big guy that is fairly quick. And again, when you have all those guys on the roster from the state, Big Barksdale's going to be in the house. I mean, you've got a lot of interesting dynamics here. I do think it's kind of telling that they got beat by La Tech as badly as they did.
Well, as
experienced as they are.
Right. That tells me that the run game for Lafayette can be contained. 178 yards against Louisiana Tech. So I think Ole Miss will have a good chance to take away the run, and that's what they're going to try and do first. They've got looks like a really nice mix at running back of speed and power. They've got a 6'1", 238 senior, a 5'11", 198 sophomore who was a freshman All-American last year. He's averaging 7.2. Broadway, the quarterback, is averaging 6.3 per carry. So, that's what they're going to try to do, and I think the Rebels will have a chance to play well and take away the run based on what we've seen from this defense in 2 games.
I agree.